Lindsay and Cal. Definitely, if you get the opportunity, the girls will pop in their chat their Facebook page or their Instagram. Definitely go and check them out because they are extremely talented women who cook up a feast in their Thermomixes. So we've got the privilege tonight of having them here and showing us some amazing dishes that you can make in your Thermomix. They're going to run the show tonight. So I'm going to man the chat. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. Feel free to come off mute, ask any questions. It's a really great opportunity to see how you can use your Thermomix to make some beautiful Asian food. Or if you don't have a Thermomix yet, this is definitely going to show you why you definitely want one on your bench. And if so, touch base with your consultant or touch base with me and I'll put you forth to either Pearl, Lindsay, or Maisie to be able to help you out with that. So we are going to start with Lindsay tonight, and I'm going to just spotlight so everyone can see hers. Sorry, Lindsay, I've just got to find your other screen.
Thank you.
Get started if you like.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I realize I'm not wearing an apron. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, so hi, my name's Lindsay. I've just been told by my 3-year-old to stop talking because he's watching TV. He will now be moved. So hi, my name's Lindsay. I've been a consultant for a couple of years now. I do cook quite a bit of Asian in the Thermomix just because it's quick and easy. I've got 2 young boys, need to get dinner on the table ASAP, kind of has to be as simple as possible. So the 2 recipes that I'll be showcasing tonight, one is the oil-free honey chicken and the other one is the Chinese style stir-fried vegetables. So they often feature on our weekly menu simply because it's so easy to cook and it is actually really tasty as well. So what we're going to start with, I'm going to jump between 2 Thermomixes, but you can certainly cook these 2 dishes in one meal with just 1 Thermomix. So only reason why we're doing this is so that we can speed up the process and not be here all night. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously have it on cookie dough. So I've got it on the screen. I don't know if you can see it anyway. So I'll cut my head off just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing on the screen, but you'll be able to see what's happening up the top here. So with this recipe, it actually will ask you to marinate your chicken first. Now, I have been known more than once to not bother about the marination because at the end of the day, I think the flavors from the sauce make it so delicious that you can totally skip the marination if you need to. But in the essence of making sure I'm following the recipe, we're going to weigh out 700. I have also cooked almost close to 1 kilo of meat with this recipe. And what that means is there'll be lots of extra for the next day. So I'm actually going to cook it all just because that's what I've got. All right, so that the chicken goes in a mixing bowl up the top. Love the scale feature. I don't have to do anything. It weighs itself. So the soy sauce, actually, you know what? I think, because this is a cooking class, I better be more accurate. So apologies. I'm just going to stick to the recipe to make it easier for everyone. So we're not trying to work out how to double the quantities of sauce and things like that. But you can certainly make this according to your personal preference. So if you do find it too salty or too sweet, you can change that up. The other thing that I really like about this recipe, it's actually a really good recipe for meal prep. The flavors do develop overnight in the fridge. So that's a really good thing about this recipe. So I've got the chicken in the bowl. All right, we're going to do the light soy sauce. Got 20 grams.
So if there's any doubt that the Thermomix can't cook a lot in terms of portion, this proves otherwise, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like 1 kilo of chicken wings is plenty. And what that would mean is just to increase the quantities of the sauce. Unfortunately, this recipe doesn't have that option to scale. which is fine. Like it's, yeah. So that was the dark soy sauce. Now I know a lot of people actually don't really know what dark soy sauce to buy or use. I don't use the dark soy sauce that's like just the thicker version of the light soy sauce because it's just really salty, and I feel like you already get enough salt from the light soy sauce. So this is I'd highly recommend everyone to get a bottle of this. It's slightly sweet, but it's a dark sauce as well. It doesn't have as much salt content, so it gives it a little bit more flavor. All right, so we've done that. We'll do the oyster sauce. And then I'm actually skipping the salt. I've done this enough times to know that the seasoning actually has plenty of flavor in it, so I'm skipping the salt. So that's just gonna go and get mixed.
And I've added that recipe into the chat as well. So if you want to pull that open or save that, you can find that in Cookie Doo. It's actually an international from one of the collections from overseas. So just please make sure your filters are open, and then you should be able to find that recipe. If you have any questions about that, definitely touch base with your consultant, and you'll be able to find it.
Okay, so the meat is actually now going to marinate while I get onto the veggies. It tells you to marinate for 30 minutes, put it in the fridge. So do that. Otherwise, as I said, I have also done the recipe many times by just throwing the ingredients in and starting the cook. All right, so while that's marinating, because the next part really is throwing everything in and starting to cook. So we'll let that marinate for a little bit. We'll get onto the Asian veggies, and I stumbled upon this recipe and I use it all the time. So it's a stir fry that has the ginger and the garlic as the base, which I really like. It's really fragrant and aromatic, and every time I do this, especially the first part of where it blends the garlic and the ginger, I just am always in awe of how fine the ginger and the garlic's been chopped and how amazing it smells after sauteing in the Thermomix. So obviously, you know, doing it over the stove, everything goes everywhere. But with the Thermomix, you don't get that, and it's very tasty and so easy and fast to cook. And the other thing as well is that obviously you can choose whatever vegetables you'd like to put in. So I've got today I've got some carrot that I'm sort of in the midst of cutting up, some capsicum, broccolini, and because I'm going to use some of these in the chicken recipe, I'm going to also slice them up to put in the stir fry. But basically, you can use any vegetables that you want. It's a great recipe to clear out the veggie drawer. It's a great recipe to really throw anything in. The one thing that I have done a few times that I'm still not a fan of is mushrooms in the mix. Mushrooms obviously are very fragile vegetables. So when you put the sturdier veggies in, it does tend to make the mushrooms just disappear. So I would say stay off the mushrooms, but at the end of the day, it still tastes amazing. It just doesn't look as great. All right, so let's get the recipe up, and I will move it so you can actually see it. I do it so often that I don't even put it in my week. It's in the recently cooked. And the other thing about this vegetable as well, this recipe, you can scale. So scaling basically means that you can choose the portion size. So I'm using this one here. You can choose the portion size. So just before you start the cook, once you have the recipe there, you can go to serving size. You probably can't see it, but you can choose either to cook for 2, for 4, or for 6. I normally do for 6. Again, another great meal prep recipe. So then you just hit apply and then go start cooking. So I'm just going to move this. Sorry for the dizziness. Oh. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do, all right, so again, it's got chili. If you don't want chili, don't put it in. My kids will have these veggies for dinner tomorrow night, so they're not gonna have chili in them. We'll go to the next one, which is 2 garlic cloves. Again, if you are a fan of garlic, go ahead and put lots in. The thing about, and I get a lot of customers that ask, oh, can it chop veggies? And I'm like, oh, it's unfortunately not, but it doesn't take you that long. However, I did have this idea that if you were doing meal prep, use the cutter. it's going to be super helpful and fast if you're doing a big quantity. All right, so in go the garlic cloves, and then we're going to put in the ginger. So the ginger, again, is up to you. So I'm just going to slice off that bit. That's quite a bit of ginger. And little tip, did you know that you can peel ginger with a teaspoon? So
No.
rather than actually trying to peel ginger with your knife, you probably take too much off. Ginger is really expensive, it's really precious. So all you have to do is just scrape it with a teaspoon, and that just gets the skin off. So that's it. I'm going to use half of that. So that's the ginger that I'm putting in there. All right, and then it's going to have the lid on. Next, so everything's already preset. All it needs is 3 seconds at speed 7. All right, so let's get to speed 7.
A stir fry, you would normally think that it's not something you would make in your Thermomix, but it is definitely something that you can, and nice and quick and easy.
100%. And this one especially, like, it actually tastes like what you might get at a Chinese restaurant. So yeah, I highly recommend you give it a try. All right, so look at how, I don't know if you can see this, but look at how fine it's actually gone. Like, this is the part I'm always like, oh my gosh, how did it get like this? All right, so we meant to straight down. If I can find the spatula. That's the one thing I didn't get out, and now in the drying rack. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
I'm just gonna grab a spatula just because I don't know where the other one is. All right, so you got to scrape down the bowl, and we're gonna add the oil to saute it. So you can add any type of oil that you like. Peanut oil is very traditionally used in Chinese cooking, or grapeseed oil or olive oil. I've just got some vegetable oil here. 30 grams of peanut oil. I'm going to use vegetable oil. So there's the oil. You can also, if you feel like not using too much oil, that's absolutely fine. Unlike on a stove, when you're stir frying and sauteing, obviously the oil will splatter out and it gets really dry. But in the Thermomix, the oil doesn't go anywhere. So you don't actually need that much. And this is where my simmer basket is up the top. So let's get this started. So it's going to saute at speed 1 at 120 degrees. While I just quickly reach up and grab my simmer basket. Sorry for the view, everyone. All right, so the simmer basket's going on top, and that's going to saute at 120 degrees. So I've been told that 120 is actually the optimum temperature for stir frying vegetables. That's the temperature where the veggies retain all their nutrients, and you can't ever really maintain 120 on the stove top. So by virtue of the fact that it's going to be consistent throughout the entire cook with a Thermomix, you know for certain that your veggies are going to have all the nutrition that it should have, and you're not going to kill it off by stir frying it over the stove. And it's going to taste really good as well. All right, so while that's stir frying, we'll go back to the chicken, because what that means is we're going to put it all in the bowl and get it going. So again,
and that's why you see a lot of Thermomixes in in restaurants and stuff, due to its accuracy, because it's so accurate, and that it's it's great to have that there. Sorry, yeah, we've just lost. There you go.
Okay, no, sorry, I turned it off so I didn't have to cause everyone to go. Yeah, that's right. All right, so we're going to do the chicken here. So this part is the part that I had asked the team whether I should show you as per the recipe. And then we said, you know what, let's do it my way. So my way, in this part of the recipe, now that the chicken is being marinated, is to actually put the rock sugar and the shallots in. I'm using onion tonight. And then what it does, it will blitz it. So it's obviously to show that the Thermomix is really powerful, and that it can actually take rock sugar, which is, basically rock, and turn it into a really fine powder. I because it's actually a bit like a braise, a chicken wing braise, you don't actually have to do that step, and it can be quite loud. And also for the fact that maybe not everybody has got rock sugar in their pantry, you can use any sort of sugar, whatever's available to you, raw sugar, brown sugar. So I'm not going to go through the step of blitzing the rock sugar, but I will go to the next step of adding the shallots. So in Asia, a very common type of from the onion family is this purple shallot. And you get them quite tiny in Asia, and they're very fragrant. However, they're very expensive here, really, really expensive. So when there's no harm using onions, kind of same family as I said. But if you do get to a grocer and the purple shallots are on sale, definitely get some. They do give a very different flavor. All right, so we're going to do the 20 grams of shallots. There we go. And then the garlic cloves. I'm going to pop that in. So you can add as much or as little as you'd like, as I said. The hardest part, as I said, in these recipes is getting the skin off the garlic or the onion.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I feel like that takes longer than most elements.
Well,
in the mix.
how do you skin your garlic?
Well, not as graceful as you, Lindsay. I can tell you that.
No, so all you do, right, is take. I don't know how to show this to you. Hang on, let's see if I can get to the board. Let me. Oh, my mess. Sorry. All you do is you take your garlic clove, take the big flat end of the knife, and literally just bang it down, and then that splits the skin from the clove.
Oh, that was far easier.
Yeah, so do that next time. Or have on my Instagram stories, I do have a reel for where I blitz. So where I use the Thermomix to skin the garlic.
Yes, I was going to say that. I'm pretty sure you can do it in.
You can do it.
Thermomix, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's my 2 garlic cloves. All right, so this is going to turbo, which is that's why they do the rock sugar, but it hurts my ears, and it's not necessary. So we turbo one time. We're going to scrape it down, and then I think we turbo another time. Oh no, okay, so it was just the one turbo. So that splits the onion and the garlic very quickly. And the next step is literally to put the marinated chicken. Now, if you weren't marinating the chicken beforehand, if you didn't have time, what you would do is when you get to, so you skip the sauces step, you get to this part, you blitz the garlic and the onion first, and then you go back the steps to the chicken. So instead of weighing it in a bowl, you're weighing it directly into the mixing bowl. Am I making sense? So you can actually just go back through the recipe and put it all in at the one time, again, rather than marinating it.
I was going to say quickly, Lindsay, in terms of marinating as well, if you want to speed up the process, mine's currently got lettuce in it, but you can get one of these vacuum seal containers from the mix shop. They speed up the process. So everything in it is airtight. So you can see I've cracked some lettuce in there, and that is airtight in there just to get the most out of it. But you can do that. You could put in the chicken wings and you marinate and make it airtight. And you don't need as much time, marinating time as well. So these are available in the mix shop. They are an investment, but they are an amazing, and I do lots of meal prep and stuff, and I have that in the fridge, but very good for marinating as well. So I thought I'd just show everyone that as well, if you want to speed up that step as well.
Yeah, and you can certainly do the marinating. Let's say you wanted to do this for meal prep. You can certainly marinate your chicken and put them in bags and put them in the freezer so that when you are ready to cook that oil-free chicken wings for that meal that you're cooking, just grab out the bag of marinated chicken wings and it, super easy. But yeah, so a couple of ways to cook this recipe. All right, so it's just going to go for 14 minutes at Varoma. Reverse speed 1. Again, it's a guided recipe. Everything's already set there for you. So all you have to do is that. And then following this, we'll add a couple more ingredients before we finish it off. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the veggies now, just because that is now ready. So again, apologies, I'm moving this stand so you can see what it's like on the inside. Oh,
That's fast, isn't it? The veggies are done.
oh no, the veggies aren't done. Sorry, it
Oh,
was just the sizzling, sorry, the sauteing of the,
okay.
yeah, because I went back and forth, went to do the chicken. But they will be done very soon. Okay, sorry, how was this positioned earlier? Oh, sorry guys. Kind of. Oh, okay. Anyway, that will do.
Okay.
All right. So the garlic and the ginger has been sauteing in that oil. It smells really amazing. So now all we do is add the veggies. So you can add 500 grams worth of veggies. I will suggest, as I'm doing a bit of cutting here, I will suggest that you cut them not into chunks, just because the cook time is not very long. What it also means that it does cook them al dente. So they are a little bit crunchier, which is what I like. But if you didn't like it, what you just do is cook it for a little bit longer. But I reckon, like, so when you're doing the carrots, you kind of want them to be, so trying to find the, yeah. So sort of just sort of half a centimeter. Oh, this is really tricky. Half a centimeter. And same goes for the other veggies as well. So I'll just quickly finish this. Does anyone have any questions while I'm cutting up these veggies? Or no? Okay, so also just a bit of a tip, when you are cooking the stir fry, I do recommend putting the tougher veggies in first. So definitely the carrots down the bottom of the bowl. So we do the carrots first. And then we'll do the stems of the broccolini. I went to the shops today and broccoli was $9.70 a kilo.
Oh gosh.
I have never seen broccoli that expensive. So the cost of living here. Well, but technically, when you go to an Asian restaurant, and I'm sure the Asians in this group will agree, we never order vegetables at an Asian restaurant, because it's one of the things that costs pretty much the same as a meat dish would cost. But yeah, for veggies, and you can cook them now at home, just like this.
Much easier to do it at home and definitely cheaper.
Much cheaper, correct. And you can add in whatever veggies you want. This would also work even for leafy Asian vegetables. So if you wanted to do Chinese broccoli, that would work as well. Right, so that goes in. I'll just quickly do the capsicum, and then we'll throw the onion.
And then once that's cooking, we'll jump to Maisie. So Maisie will come up to you soon.
Yeah, sorry guys.
No, you're right.
Okay, so I just thought I'd add the capsicum for a bit of color. Obviously, if you didn't like capsicum, just leave it out. Yeah, however you'd like to chop it, just go for it. But as I said, the harder veggies, I do them slightly thinner. The capsicum's not going to take very long to cook, so we don't need to. So
It was
are we
definitely
going?
The stir fry is a good one, just to even for a quick lunch, you know, team it with any kind of protein. It's a really good quick go-to, and you know
Yeah.
you've got your veggies in there.
100%. Okay, I am 58. I'm 459, so I'm going to throw in this half a zucchini. And hopefully that would get it there. So I've put the zucchini right at the top because it is a softer vegetable. All right, so that's the veggies done. We'll do a pinch of salt to taste. So a bit of salt. This thing there. Next is oyster sauce or soy sauce. So this is the sort of like restaurant Asian thing going oyster sauce. However much you want to put in. And
If you put
then
rice wine in there as well, it tastes really good.
yeah,
Yeah, a splash of rice wine and sesame oil.
yum. I think I've done that before. So you can actually leave the oyster sauce out and like what Maisie said, season it with the rice wine. Do you add the oyster sauce as well, Maisie, when you do it with the rice wine?
Yes, yes, I do.
No. Okay.
It depends.
Uh,
Sometimes I don't put salt.
So yes, that's now going to go for 7 minutes with the simmer basket on. Okay, so over to Maisie, I think.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. So we'll go back to Lindsay to have a look at what has happened there. So we're jumping to Maisie. Maisie's going to make a Thai green curry from scratch.
Hi everyone, I'm Maisie from Bandura. Yeah, so today I'm going to show you how to make a Thai green curry, and the Thermomix is really excellent in making curry paste from scratch. Any paste, sambals. You can even make a big batch and keep it in the freezer, and then when you're ready to cook the curry, just chuck your protein and your vegetables in. The beauty of having a Thermomix is you do get a 6 months free trial subscription with Cookie Dough, and you can try as many recipes as you like. And this is one of the recipes that I found really good for this Thai green chicken curry. Having said that, nothing is set in stone. It's completely adaptable. You can leave out the chili if your kids don't like spice or it's too hot for them. But of course, the basis of a Thai green curry is a couple of essential herbs and spices. So we'll get started. I'm using this as a guided recipe for the steps, following along with the paste, and then I'm going to actually increase the protein, the chicken, and add more vegetables as well. So yeah. So I'm not sure if you can see my screen, but whenever you start a guided recipe, it brings up the scale. So now it's asking me to put in 20 grams of cooking oil. And because it's a Thai green curry, which has coconut cream, coconut milk, I'm actually going to use coconut oil. So just to give it a bit, to boost the flavor. So I'm going to put 20 grams of coconut oil. Click next, and it'll ask you for 150 grams of fresh coriander and roots and stems. So everything, this is pretty much one bunch of coriander. It's about 100 to 120 grams of, sorry, it weighs about 100 to 120 grams. So to top it up, to make it to 150 and to boost the green color of the green curry, I like to add baby spinach as well. If you don't have that, you can leave it out, but that's just my take on it, because that's putting green back into green curry. So yeah, I have a whole bunch. And if you are averse to coriander, don't worry. Once the paste is cooked down, the flavors just melt together, and it's really nice. So all the green leaves and the roots. Yeah. Okay, so pretty much I've already prepped all the ingredients. It's dump everything in the bowl, but I'll just take you step by step. So 1 stalk of fresh lemongrass, only the white parts, because if you use the stems, it's going to be too fibrous. I've already cut them into 2 to 3 cm pieces. And again, to boost the flavor, I actually put 2 lemongrass. All of that in. 3 to 6 bird's eye chilies or chili padi, where I come from. I'm from Malaysia. But again, to make it extra green, I'm putting green chilies, long green chilies, which can be quite spicy and hot. So these can be quite expensive here, but when they do go on sale, or go down in price about $9 a kilo, I buy a big batch and I freeze them. So these are actually frozen green chilies. Chuck that in. Next, on the way ahead, 20 grams of shallots. So Lindsay mentioned the shallot just now. It's about $13 to $15 a kilo, but you only need a little bit. The shallots in Australia are huge. Usually they are 1/4 the size. But if you don't have shallots, you can most certainly use Spanish red onion. So that's what I'm going to do. These shallots, dump in. I think I accidentally pressed my machine. And then garlic, 10 grams of garlic. That's about roughly 2 cloves. Chuck that in. Galangal. So if you haven't seen galangal before, this is the chop. I've chopped it up already. This is what it looks like. It's really hard. If you throw this at someone, you probably injure them. So just be very careful when you cut them up into like 2 cm pieces. So I love the smell of galangal. So even though it asks for 5 grams, I've actually I have 20 grams here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't look like 5 grams.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so I think I left a couple of spices back. So actually everything goes in. So if you're familiar with the recipe and you've done your prep work, there's literally everything in the bowl.
Wow.
All the herbs and ingredients. And then the next step asks for 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1/2 teaspoon ground coriander, 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper. And white pepper is really important in Thai cooking. I've prepared them. And again, I love strong flavors. So instead of 1/2 teaspoon each, I've done 1 teaspoon each. So in that goes. Next, 2 teaspoons of sugar. In Thai cooking, you use palm sugar. So it looks like, it comes like this. I bought this from the supermarket. Yep. It's got a nicer, rounded sort of flavor, very aromatic. But if you don't have it, it's okay. Just use white sugar or brown sugar. So that calls for 2 teaspoons. I'm going to use 10 to 15 grams. Got roughly that here. So if you notice sometimes when you eat out, the green curry can be quite sweet. When you make it at home, if you don't like sweet curries, you can completely adjust that or not put sugar at all. And very essential ingredient, shrimp paste. So this is a Thai version of the shrimp paste. If you don't have that and you like from Malaysia, you can use belacan, which is in block form. Again, this is like anchovies in Italian cooking, so it really smells, but a little goes a long way. So we're gonna put 1 teaspoonful of that as per recipe. Is that? And some coconut cream to help it along. So 50 grams of coconut cream. Okay. Next. Okay, and this asks for 50 grams of fish sauce. So for me, fish sauce is both flavoring and a finishing. So I don't put everything in the paste. I just put maybe half, so about 25 grams. And then at the end of it, if you feel like it needs a bit more saltiness, you can add more. I'm a bit more conservative with my salt, so I prefer to add it after everything's cooked. And lime juice as well is more of a finishing touch to brighten up the curry, so I won't add it here. And then that's it. Just oh,
we've just had a request. Can you show the brand of the Thai shrimp paste, please?
Yeah. It's in Thai.
Oh, it's in Thai. There you go.
Yeah. But I have used belacan before and it works really well. So this one you can get at Woolies. And best part is it comes in blocks of 4. You just need to use half. because each block is about 20 grams. Okay, so lid on, and I'll just show you again. Big bowl of fresh stuff.
Yeah.
Really good, really fresh. And then 20 seconds, speed 10. So just bear with me, 20 seconds.
So it's great making a paste. It's like when you get your Thermomix and we say to do a veggie stock or something like that. Making pastes like these are such a great basic to have available just to whip up a curry whenever you want and things like that. And look at all that, everything that Maisie put in there. Nothing beats that. Like it's so fresh. I can't even imagine how well how it smells in Maisie's home. Yeah, have a look at that. It's demolished all that stuff in there.
Yeah, so this is a fresh paste. You can keep this in the freezer if you're not cooking with it straight away, but we are doing that tonight. So just scrape it down. So, and the next step, we're just going to put the basket on, and that screen tells you what. It's going to saute the paste to bring out the flavor and the aroma at 120 degrees and at stirring speed. Yeah. So while that's going, let's talk about okay, so when you're cooking with a guided recipe, if there's a preview button, you could actually preview what the next steps are. So if you come home and you haven't done any of your prep work, it's fine. It tells you what to do. So next it will ask you for 150 grams of long beans, 200 grams of zucchini. And again, you can add your choice of vegetables, whatever you like. Eggplant is a good one, but I find that it benefits from pre-cooking. So if you fry it in a pan or steam it first, then when you add it to the curry, it's much nicer. The texture is softer. So if you want to add it straight into the curry, you can, but you will have to cook this curry for half an hour, 25 minutes to half an hour. But otherwise, I'm going to actually change up the vegetables. I'm putting zucchini, beans as per the recipe, and I'm adding mushrooms. And what else? Sure, I had bamboo shoots. So when you order a Thai green curry outside, most likely you will see bamboo shoots, and you can buy the can. They come in canned form. I'll show you the canned bamboo shoots. So this is just one brand, and this is available in Coles and Woolies. So yeah. Let's see what else. So total recommended vegetables would be around 350 to 400 grams. Otherwise, you'll probably have to cook it longer because the bowl will be quite full. And it's easy enough to do this in batches. Let's say if you want to bulk it out, you can just make a double batch of paste. Yes, I will. I will do that. I actually have I have done the edited version, and we'll send it to you after the class.
I'll add it once it's complete. Once the class is complete in a few days, probably not tomorrow. I will send out an email with all the recipes linked. Maisie can send me her adjusted one, and I will send that through. So you've got all that information that you need. Hope that helps, Sarah. Beautiful.
All right, so these are the vegetables that I'm going to put in. We can actually close the preview mode. It's got 3 minutes left, but that's okay. So mushrooms, pretty much just cut it to that size. It's going to shrink a little bit, not too much. And when the Thermomix cooks the curry, it actually goes in reverse mode. So don't worry about it chopping up your vegetables. Zucchini, I'll probably slice it to about 2 to 3 cm thickness. The reason for this is because this curry actually cooks in 10 minutes. So that's a very fast, quick
Mm,
curry.
okay.
Once this sauteing step is done, the whole curry comes together in 10 minutes. But I like to cook it for 13 minutes, so anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes is great. With the chicken, the recipe asks for 500 grams of chicken thighs. My boys eat a lot, so I actually increase it a bit. So 550 grams to 600 grams of chicken. That's about 4 to 5 chicken thighs. You cut them to about this size. Pretty much just the width of the chicken thigh. You just cut it into cut across about 2 to 3 cm thickness. The reason for that is because the chicken will shrink a little in the curry because it releases a lot of water. A lot of water comes out of the chicken. All right. And another thing, yes, I love to do hybrid cooking. So I cook both on the stove and Thermomix as well. And I'm not very good at sticking to a recipe like 100%. So the recipe will ask you to put 150 grams of water, but I'm going to omit the water because if you notice just now, I put in 50 grams of the coconut cream just to make it that a bit more rich. I'm actually putting the whole can of coconut cream. So that's it will ask for 150 grams of water and then 150 grams of coconut cream. But we're not going to put water. We're going to put a whole can because I'm not really a fan of just opening a can of coconut cream and leaving it in the fridge. Yeah. So, I mean, you can use it for other dishes, but this is a great way just to use the entire can. All right. So there's 25 seconds left, but we can definitely.
What we might do, Maisie, we might jump to Lindsay because Lindsay is done, and then we'll come back while you get that.
Ashley.
I'm
Why-
actually just putting everything in, and then we
Oh, there
can
you
come
go.
back.
Yep.
Ashley. Get off.
Is anyone there?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you, Maisie. Sorry.
Oh, or is it still on me?
Yeah, it's still on you. Sorry.
I thought it went to Lindsay. Yeah.
No, 'cause
Okay.
I
So
thought you're just putting it in, so we'll wait.
I've dumped the vegetables in, and then I'm gonna dump the chicken in. And have a look. It's pretty full, but it's all gonna come together. And then it asks for peppercorns. I don't have any peppercorns. Yeah. So and then kaffir lime leaves. I'm not sure you've seen this, but I have seen this in the supermarket as well. I have a big tree in my backyard. So with the kaffir lime leaves, instead of shredding them, just crush them up a little, tear them, just to release the aroma. Dump that in. Okay. And Thai basil leaves. I've prepped them. If you don't have Thai basil, you can definitely use sweet basil, but the Thai basil has a little bit more aniseed flavor, the fragrance. So chuck that in. And then the entire can of coconut cream. Chuck that in.
I'm wishing I lived next door to Maisie because I just want that curry now.
My neighbor's gonna kill me because she keeps smelling food from my kitchen. Okay, and that's it. Just the next step is cook it for 10 minutes, but I will do it for 13 minutes at 100 degrees, stirring speed, reverse mode. And it's all on the screen. It tells you what to do. So that's it.
Beautiful, Maisie. Thank you. We'll come back and see that after Lindsay shared, but we will go jump back to Lindsay so we can see her finished product.
Cool. All right. I've gotten rid of the big thing up the top. So basically, I'll quickly do the rest of the chicken and then I'll plate the veggies and then I can plate the chicken. All right. So the chicken is really, it's pretty much all cooked. The next step is to add just that little bit of sweetness with a bit of honey. So the next part of it, and I'll just show you it here. So it's pretty much done. It depends. I know it doesn't look exactly like the recipe, but trust me, it tastes delicious.
Well, hang on, I'll
It
just,
depends on if you like things saucy or not. Because I have done this in the past where I've taken the chicken out and then I've just gone to put the sauce a bit on varoma just so it can evaporate a little bit. So it's very much up to you if you like it saucy or not. But then we're going to add in 20 grams of honey. There's a bit of extra sweetness. Again, if you want to omit the step, that is fine. But it does give it a nice shine as well. So 20 grams of honey. And then it talks about rice wine. And I know Maisie had mentioned having rice wine as a addition to the veggie dish as well. So I highly recommend, this is sort of the Chinese rice wine that you can get from the shops. It's like $2 a bottle, and it is very, very fragrant. The other name of it is Hua Diao Jiu. So it really adds a lot of flavor to all your dishes. It's not as high in alcohol as your other types of cooking wines, but it's very fragrant. All right, so that's just going to go literally for 3 seconds. 3 seconds. So just to stir it in a little bit. Obviously it would have been a little bit hotter about 5 minutes ago when it finished, but that should be hot enough to melt the honey and all of that. Okay, so now I've got my plate. I think we'll dish up the veggies because that's done. So, you can see my plate. T, can you put the spotlight on my other? Is it on?
yep, yep.
Yeah, showing the plate. Great.
Oh, hang on. I'll just do it 1 second. Yep, now you're on both. Yes.
All right, great. So as you can see, here we go. All right, so that's the color of the veg.
Oh, look at
like
that.
It is brightly colored. I know that it hasn't lost any of its nutrients because it's cooked at the 120. There's some sauce, but there's not a whole lot of sauce. So it really depends on what you like, if you like a really saucy veggie or not. But everything is pretty much perfectly cooked. It smells delicious. As I said, this is really my go-to all the time. So imagine having some hot rice with a side of these veggies, as well as a side of the chicken, and which I'm going to plate now because that is finished.
Christina said it looks so pretty. I have to agree.
It does, right? And
for a couple of minutes in the Thermomix, it
so
looks
simple.
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. And this is the chicken. So I've got the sauce there. Trust me, this sauce and fresh hot rice. I'd advise you to cook a little bit extra rice if you've got this dish on the menu for the night. So the chicken is perfectly cooked. The wings are obviously really easy to eat for the young ones, but they're as I said, like, you know, a wing, or 2 drumsticks for lunch prep. That's super easy and very delicious. I have made a bit of a mess. Yeah, so my 2 dishes are done.
That looks absolutely beautiful, Lindsay. Something so simple. 2 things I probably wouldn't think that I could make in the Thermomix, but you can absolutely do so. Jazz has asked, can I use boneless chicken like the thigh?
You could, definitely. What I would then suggest is you probably want to cut down the cooking time. Probably, so it's 15 minutes with chicken on the bone. So if you were doing thigh pieces, I'd probably say about 10 minutes. And the thing to note is we do have customers that have said that Thermomix may end up shredding the chicken if it cooks for longer than 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. So what I suggest, if you get a piece of thigh meat, I would keep the thigh pieces rather big. So actually cut one piece of thigh meat into 6 maximum, or even 4. That would make sure that as the cooking happens, because 10 minutes is still, you can't have half cooked chicken, so you want to make sure you're cooking it well. So the larger piece means that it wouldn't get shredded whilst it was cooking, but certainly use thigh meat for sure.
Thank you so
That's
much,
me.
Maisie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Maisie, should we go to Pearl? Yep, we're going to jump to Pearl. There's Pearl. Pearl's going to help us with some candied almonds.
Okay. Have I unmute myself?
Yes, you have.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I've spotlighted you.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, I'm Pearl, and what I'm going to show today is the candy almond. What's special about this dish is we're using the sugar stage, which is a guided cooking, which you cannot use by, like, when you want to do it, you just use whatever way that you can do usually with other dishes. But for this one, you must follow the recipe, and it's only for the TM6. Okay, let me show you how to do it. It's only using 3 very simple ingredients. They are water, caster sugar, and since I don't have caster sugar, I'm going to show you how to mill the white sugar, and also the roasted almond. Okay, let's get started. Okay, start cooking. You can see from the other screen, and like what is said, you guarantee the success of recipe. You have to like make sure the ingredients must match exactly the quantity. Okay. So 100 grams of caster sugar. Okay. So to make sure that we close the lid and also the measuring cup. And then we can go back to home, and then we can find, you can see the chop function, the chopping mode over here. Just press. And then you can find other. And under other, you can find sugar. And since I'm using 100 grams, so I will set, and then it will let me do it for 11 seconds and turn speed to 10.
So the chop mode is a recent addition to your Thermomix. So if you've got a TM6, you would have got a brand new update.
From the sugar. Okay, we go back out to the recipe. Move. And you get caster sugar. You can see all the dust, but anyway, it's okay. And we'll go to the next ingredients, the water. We'll add 50 grams of water. Oops, good. Next. And for using the sugar stage, we need to have the splash guard, because this is to protect the splashing of the sugar coming out. Since when it's cooking, the sugar is very high in temperature. So better have something to protect ourselves. Okay. And you can see it only takes 4 minutes and the temperature is maximum. What you need to only do is to turn the silver button to start. Okay, so the heating of the sugar will start when the temperature meet the maximum. So it means like when it meet the maximum temperature, it will start counting down. So it takes about 4 minutes. And I have the roasted almond here. I suggest to roast it because if you want the crunchiness of it, you must do it. Because I tried without roasting it and it tastes different. So this is a must do steps. Another thing is you can find from the cookie dough that there is a collection for Asian sweet treats with sugar stage. You can search the collection. Can you see that?
Yes, I'll try and find it and I'll add it to the chat.
Yeah, and they have a lot of different recipes. Quite interesting. I think you should try. I would like to do the sweet sticky rice cake. That's quite interesting. And this is a Chinese New Year dish that we always love to make. And I think everyone else should try. Another thing is for this candy almond, I can make it and put into small bags and as a gift for Christmas, Chinese New Year, or even you can make this can. I got it from Kmart. It's only $1. So you can make it as a wedding return gift. So you can serve on the table and with a nice golden ribbon. And I think it's a great gift when your guests receive it. And the good thing in the Thermomix to do the sugar stage is it is very easy to clean, no mess in the stove top, because I try to do that on the stove top and I need to have the thermometer, the sugar thermometer to measure the temperature. But if I rely on the machine, I don't even have to worry that it doesn't go to the right consistency.
Pearl, so and this recipe is only for the TM6. So because it's a high heat recipe,
Yes.
it's not something you could make with your TM5 or 31. And if you do have one, I would definitely chat to your consultant because it's time to upgrade when you can do such amazing things with the TM6. You just got more options, and the sugared recipes are a great addition to the Thermomix.
Yeah, for the TM6, we also have the pre-cleaning mode, which you won't have it for the TM31 and also TM5. And the high heat mode is really, really good. I love to use it to cook my mushroom, chicken, beef, pork, and shrimp. They taste really good too. So I think it's a great idea to think about getting an upgrade to TM6.
Yes.
And the good thing about using the recipe, the sugar stage, is because on the recipe, it will tell you how to clean after you make sugar. It's very easy. It's not only like they give you step by step, and I can show you afterwards how easy it is. Okay. What else?
We had some. We had some questions about using the basket or the splash guard. If you so the splash guard is specific to high heat to prevent any splashing coming out. But if it does say to put your steaming basket, I know there's people saying it's bulky to wash. I get that. It's actually best that you do use that steaming basket on top because the ventilation in that there's more ventilation in the steaming basket. It doesn't appear so, but on the splash guard, it's actually quite covered. It's not so open as the basket. So just for safety, we definitely recommend that you do use that basket on the top, not the steaming splash guard. Sorry, ladies, I know that was, but it's best you do use the basket.
Yes.
There's a few questions about that in the chat.
But I find that when I do the spaghetti, you can use both. And I find the splash guard works better. It's less messy.
Yeah.
So maybe you can give it a try. Okay, we have 1 minute left.
So with the sugars as well, so Pearl's showing you the candied almonds, but you can make honeycomb. I've seen customers make lollipops and things like that. So there are many options that you can do with a sugar option, but because it's hitting that high heat, that also hits into browning mode, which means you can brown things in your TM6 that you previously couldn't do it, which adds, of course, more flavor to your cooking and makes it even more delicious. So I felt like it was the thing that was missing from the TM5, just that browning mode and that high heat element, and they definitely brought it out in the TM6, which is great. So it is those new features that really make a significant difference in what you are cooking in your Thermomix. Pearl, what was the Asian sweet treat page you showed earlier? Please include in the email, Teresa. Yep, will help us to send. Yeah.
Okay, sure, I'll do that.
Pearl will be able to send that to me,
Oh,
and then I'll
okay.
add that to the email.
Okay, the sugar is ready. And then we'll add in 200 grams of the toasted almond. Try to add it evenly. Next. And we have to make sure that we have our measuring cup back in. And then just turn the butter. Okay, so when it's still stirring, get yourself ready with the parchment paper on the baking sheet. So once it's done, just pour it out because the sugar will harden very quick. So we have to work quick. But don't worry, you have time. Nice open. Done. Okay, let me show you. Like this, like this. I'll pour it out. Okay, you can see from here. Try to separate them if possible. But it's really hot, so don't use your hand.
Yeah, don't use it. Yes.
Yeah, that's not to use your hand. Okay. Okay, done. And then you can see the bowl is really, when you look at it, you will think, oh gosh, how am I going to wash it? But don't worry, the next step is telling you how to wash. Okay, just add 1,000 grams of water into the mixing bowl. And then the next ingredients is the white vinegar, 15 grams. Cover that with your lid and the measuring cup. You just turn to fat and caramel for the pre-wash. Okay, while it's washing, we will go to Macy to see
Yes,
her
we'll go to
photo.
Maisie. Thank
Yep.
you so much, Pearl.
No worries.
Hi. Hi everyone, the curry is done. Show you. Ta-da! You see how green it is? Super green. That's really green and tasty. Let me just dish it out. Oh yeah. So right at the end you can finish it with a squeeze of lime, fresh lime. Yep. Again, if you think your curry needs maybe 3 to 4 minutes longer, you can extend the time. But yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
yum. This food is really torturing me tonight. I would like a little bit of everything, thanks.
There you go. Finish it with a bit of basil. Nice and green. And that's what I like about homemade green curry, because it's actually really herbaceous and aromatic.
冇錢嗎？
yeah.
It's
$1
only. Oh, sorry, I'm just.
All right, so the green curry is done. Yeah, let us know if you do try it. I'll send through the.
Are we just splitting off those wet weather today? And I'm sorry, I'm not sure who is not on mute.
Okay, now I'm going to show you the soybean pudding, or in Cantonese we call it dao fu fa, or dou hua in Mandarin. So let us know in the chat box if you love dao fu fa and if you've ever tried making it. The traditional way.
Lots of lots of memes in the chat.
Yeah. So the traditional way of making it is you make the soybean milk from soybeans. And there's a recipe on Cookie Dough that I follow. So it's about 200 grams of soybean milk. You have to soak it overnight, maybe 8 hours minimum. And then make the soybean milk, strain it, and then while it's and then cook it at 90 to 98 degrees. Very important with the temperature. So it's actually a really simple process, but it is a fiddly because it's technical. You need to get the ratio right. You need to get, oh yes. So a tip for straining is don't do it all at once. Get a muslin cloth or a nut milk bag, and do it in 3 batches. Yes. So the nut milk bag from the mix shop has a drawstring. So when you put the soy milk in there with pulp, you can close up the hole, and then it makes straining a lot easier. But again, don't do it in one whole go because that's going to kill your hands. Your palms are going to tire up. So do it in 3 lots, and it's so much easier. It is messy, but you can do it. So, but for today, what I'm going to show you is using store-bought soybean milk. So again, you can definitely use the soybean milk recipe from Cookie Dough. It has the perfect bean to water ratio because you need the soybean milk to be quite thick in order for this recipe to work. And I will show you my end result later. For the tofu, I've made one just before we started the Zoom class. So with this, we're going to use store-bought soy milk, and I found that not all store-bought soy milk is equal. This brand, I don't know if you can see that, Smooth Foods brand, is good. When you drink it, you can actually taste soybean. I haven't tried like the other brands like Jensen, but definitely there's another brand you should avoid because it's extremely watery and your tofu pho will not work. I think it's Chongqing brand. I hope you don't get in trouble for saying that, but yeah, for this one, tofu pho class, this brand is good. Okay. But you can definitely use homemade soybean milk, and I actually made my tofu pho with homemade soybean milk. And I've definitely have been successful with the store-bought one as well. So what you would do, this is when you bust out your varoma dish. Get a stainless steel bowl that fits inside the varoma. So this is about a 1 liter capacity bowl. And just so that I can close the lid, I put the trivet upside down. And you want to put a trivet so that the steam can circulate. Okay, put that in. And I'm going to use my weighing scale on the Thermomix. Very important with the ratio. So how do you turn soybean milk into soybean pudding? You need this thing called GDL, which is glucono-delta-lactone. It is one of a few coagulants for tofu, for making silken tofu. There are many ways to coagulate tofu, but for silken tofu, GDL is the way to go. I think other traditional recipes use gypsum as well, but I haven't had any luck with that one. The GDL that I have, I bought it from eBay online. This part is best before date, but that's okay. It's best before date. And I accidentally bought too much. Instead of 100 grams, I bought 1 kilo. So that would have made 5,000 bowls of tofu fa. But I've given them out to many people. And just from my local Asian grocer the other day, I found GDL as well. It comes in sachets. Just for transparency, it is actually an additive, but it is essential for setting tofu into silken tofu. And it is a natural occurring derivative of glucose. So, and you only use a little bit. So you'll see that. So I'm gonna weigh. So if you're taking notes.
I think everyone's taking notes. Yeah, they're all watching.
1.3. So 1,250 grams, 1,250 gram of soy milk to 1,300 grams, 1.3 liters. That range. It's GDL stands for glucono-delta-lactone. You can search it up if you like. It is the main setting agent for making tofu. So 1.3 liters of soy milk into the stainless steel bowl. The reason why I use the stainless steel bowl is because it conducts heat a little bit more evenly. If you use a Pyrex or a ceramic dish, you might need to steam it for a bit longer. So I've just gone slightly over. I'm just going to pull up a bit. Hang on. So you might notice that my scales are going a bit wonky. That's because I'm putting my Thermomix on my dining table, which is not very stable. Usually it's on my bench. Okay, so to that, to show you, 1.3 liters of soy milk. I'm going to add, what's this? 10 grams of cornstarch mixed with 30 grams of water. All right. And then, very important, 2 grams of GDL or half a teaspoon. So just put that in. Give it a stir just to dissolve. So the cornstarch actually helps to give it a nice mouthfeel. Potentially you can leave that out, but I think, yeah, just put a bit of cornstarch to give it that nice texture. Give it a stir. Make sure you stir it thoroughly because that's only half a teaspoon of GDL, very little, to 1.3 liters of soy milk. Pour that in. Okay. And I've made this recipe even faster by using the sugar syrup to steam the tofu pudding. So this is the traditional Chinese dessert, hot, warm dessert that is served with sweetened syrup. Sometimes you put ginger. You can leave out the ginger if you don't like ginger. You can add pandan leaves as well for fragrance. So usually you would do this separately and then make the sugar syrup. But I'm going to do it all at once. So you get 300 grams of rock sugar. This is what rock sugar looks like. I think Lindsay mentioned rock sugar in the chicken recipe earlier. You pour that in. And then 300 grams of water. Sugar syrups is 1-to-1 ratio. So 300 grams water, 300 grams of sugar. And if you don't have rock sugar, you can use white sugar or you can use palm sugar. And then I've got 30 grams of ginger slice, chuck that in. 2 pandan leaves knotted, chuck that in. And what you're going to do is glad wrap. So I hope everyone is still following me. Sorry, we went a bit above time, but Okay, you want to wrap this bowl tightly with cling wrap. This is so you get a smooth surface on your tofu bar. If you do this without wrapping it or covering it with cling wrap, you're gonna get rough, pimply, sort of frothy water spots. Okay, so make sure I've stirred through that solution, the GDL cornstarch solution. Yep. And you've got your sugar syrup in here. Put the varoma on. Lid on. And you're going to cook it for 25 minutes. Varoma temperature, which is for steaming, and then speed 1. All right, so it's going to sound a bit scary because it's got rock sugar in there, but let me show you the finished product. So that's as easy as it gets. The traditional method involves cooking the hot soy milk, and then you have to make the GDL and cornstarch solution, stir it just before you pour the hot soy milk into that solution, and then leave it to set. Leave it to set. But this is an easier way that I have discovered. Literally just put it all together with cold soy milk, and then once it's steamed, it looks like this. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's really smooth. And I'm gonna scoop it for you to see. So this is the typical Chinese dessert that you get in.
Oh, I will definitely make it.
Yeah, at when you have dim sum at Yum Cha. So scoop it. It's really soft, and it's actually softer than silken tofu. So that's why we do it this way. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then pour the sugar syrup on. So this one's black because I've used gula melaka or palm sugar from Malaysia, and also a palm sugar you get from Indonesia. And yeah, comforting, warming. And if you don't like to eat it sweet, you can chuck this in the fridge, pan fry or stir fry some pork mince or any mince
Oh,
with oyster sauce, soy sauce, pile it on top of the tofu and enjoy it. It's really nice. It works as a savory dish as well because the soy milk is pretty much flavorless, so it carries any flavor that you put on it. So yeah, that's it. Easy.
yes.
Well, not that easy, but it took a while to get to this stage, but now you can make it.
Okay. Sorry. I would like to show after washing. Look, just doing magic. It's clean. So easy to use the sugar stage and following the recipe. And like nothing. You just pour out the water, rinse it, and done. It's so easy.
Much easier. We are all done. Everyone has shared. We've all shown everything at the end, which is amazing. Thank you. Firstly, thank you to Lindsay, Maisie, and Pearl for sharing their amazing tips and tricks on the dishes that they made tonight. We're so lucky to have these women in my team, and thank you for taking the time to share it with your customers and everyone that's joined tonight. Oh, hang on, Sarah, with the store-bought soy milk, do you get unsweetened, maybe?
Yes, I do. So no added sugar, but I've done it with sweetened soy milk, and it didn't really make a difference because you're gonna add sugar syrup to it anyway. That's if you're doing the sweet version. So yeah, don't stress if you can't get smooth foods. Smooth foods. Yeah.
There you go. We love those tips because they're the tips so you're not buying different soy milk and, getting it wrong. Some great tips, Maisie. Thank you. Thank you for everyone for joining tonight. We really appreciate your time and we hope that it's giving you a little insight into how to make some dishes in your Thermomix. If you have any questions, please touch base with your consultant. If you're not linked with a consultant, I'm going to connect you with Lindsay or Maisie or Pearl and they'll get in contact with you to see if you have any questions. But otherwise, thank you once again. We love feedback. Let us know what you'd love our next class to be, and we appreciate your time. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming.
Thank you. Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Oops. Accidentally turned my video. I'll stop recording.